A very warm welcome to When Buddha Moved In, spiritual teachings and messages through Buddha. I wanted to share this message after a long time of reflection and observing myself, retreating, taking a step back. I have been giving a lesson from a monk, and therefore I will call this little profound teaching from dusk to dawn. So in this present moment, right now, I'm sitting, watching from dusk to dawn, spending the least time I could sleep so that I could stay awake as many hours in this 24 hours cycle of a day, daylight and darkness, to move in to a higher vibration of being aware and spending 24 hours with as much gratitude and focus on what is really important in my own life and how I will spend these 24 hours. So for many years I had this feeling that I had to catch something, and when I have been chasing this moment, this goal, I experienced that the feeling and the state in my mind and body only stayed for a very short period of time, and then I had to chase something new to feel this fulfillment. It was already around my teenage years that I recognized that something was not like I really wanted to be, and yet at that time I did not really understand what it was that I really missed. So I observed that when I was together with my grandma in the garden, that I felt a huge sense of peace in most of the time that I spent with her when we were alone. And she also had a nephew that she had adopted that had Down syndrome, and and because that he had not that kind of a verbal language to use, we spent a lot of time just sitting, and he was fixing some lines from the boats, like he was doing structure out of things that was in chaos without even knowing what he was doing. He spent his time sitting and we sat there in peace, and maybe I was lying down and feeling the sun towards my head and the warmth. And we were enjoying life. We were having fun, even though we were quiet together. Not to dwell in the past moments, but they have still been anchor and guideline for me to step back and not involve that much in the chaos and obstructions that are a part of being in a society. So the drama, it fades away when I step back and just retreat for some times and just think about how to spend these 24 hours. In that process, I also did a practice that was being aware and observing what I did with my body and also why I did what I did. And the process was a whole lot of repetition of the same things and the recognition of recognizing that there was some of these habits that I did not like that I had, and some of them I was happy that I had. So I confirmed myself that when I did things that I like to do, then I was more happy and I was more calm and more aligned. Also, when I spent time with people that were too different from me, whose energy was very different from me at that moment, it created suffering. Maybe not right in the moment, but then after there would arise suffering in my mind and therefore also in my body. I experienced that I used, for example, eating something that tasted good or drinking something that tasted good, even though alcohol has not been a part of my life for many, many years. I still used the taste of what came into my mouth as something that was part of overcoming this 24 hours of cycle until I should go to sleep, so that I could forget that I was bored and unfulfilled and unhappy in relationships that were not at the same frequency as I really wanted it to be. So that's also why I have created a series of teachings and Dharma talks from my own point of view through the Buddha teachings implemented in my own life. And one of the teachings is called compatibility. as it has been a practice that I was given. Very grateful for that from Bande, from the monk, when we were having a deep conversation with some Dharma friends in Denmark, that what compatibility is and how it has an impact on my life and have had a huge impact on my direction in my life, that I have not chosen the people that I was more compatible with. So I experienced a whole lot of suffering because I was not aware that this compatibility was such a big part of finding my own happiness. So being with somebody who has a whole lot of values that are too far away from yours can develop you in a certain way. But from my perspective, only when you spend a little time with them. If you spend too much time with people that are not compatible with you and your values in your life, then you will experience too much unhappiness. And this unhappiness is individual. So the happiness is not only that the Buddha described some patterns in the way that you can look upon your life and how you become happy and satisfied in a good way, not having too much hate, greed, and ignorance in your life. But still, it's very important that you keep yourself together with people that also value, for example, these 5 precepts and the Eightfold Path in the doctrines from the teachings that Buddha taught. And my experience is this that I want to share with you to reflect upon. And it is that the more you live a simple life, not having too much distractions and outside circumstances that are not having the same values as you, it creates more peace. So it's not that we don't have to spend time with people that have different point of views or have different lifestyles, but there are certain areas where the personal and spiritual growth is bigger, because the ethical conducts and morals are the same. So for example, not having to discuss with somebody if they want to kill or they want to steal, if they want to intoxicate themselves, if they want to drink, or slandering, speaking harshly about society and and people in society, the government, all kinds of themes that are caught up in drama, and your opinion or your friend's opinion about this moves me, takes me away from the focus being in the present moment and sharing the Dharma with somebody who also have some point of views from a Dharma point of view, how to be more aware of your speech, body, mind, your whole life purpose, not to miss the present moment, and not to have this chasing the bus to get somewhere. Because when you're chasing something, everything that is present and very valuable is what you're truly missing in real life. So that is not that I have not liked to travel or visit somebody in other parts of the world, but the whole state of being in moving with this body has changed a lot. My intention behind my focus of being has changed, and certainly the quality of friendship has changed. So it's not that I don't respect that other people live in another way than me. Actually, it's the opposite, that I respect more than ever that people live in another kind of way that I do, and in that respecting somebody else's choices, I also reduce my own choice and my own choosing choices to distract myself and the exhaustion that comes with all these choices, the variety of the choices creates more desire and more drama and things that create suffering for me. And this lesson from dusk to dawn is a very interesting teaching and an inspiration to you, reflecting upon your life circumstances and how much you have brought of this drama and suffering into your life. Watching yourself from the perspective of that everything you think, connect feelings to, move into vibration with your body, and therefore creating results that you either like or dislike, or you put yourself in a state that creates the result that are so conflicting because you take a lot of action and can't see what each of these results are leading you towards more suffering. So So as an example, I'm sitting here watching a bird. As it arrives, it flies over to a tree. And because I'm awake before the sun is, so that I can see that it is dawning. The dust is it's in a slowly way moving to being a sky with the light. I can see that the bird is starting to come and sitting in the trees. And years ago, I would have been in a hurry. I would have been preparing myself for work, moving myself in a so fast frequency that if you ask me when I was coming home from a day of maybe 8 or 14 hours of working, I would not have told you how I have spent my day, because it was so quick, so I could not remember all that I have done. So this teaching about recognizing yourself and observing yourself doing things in a more slow way, in a more calm way, gives you and brings you a lot of clarity, brings you a lot of peace, brings you a lot of trusting the process, that it's okay to just spend these 24 hours and focus on what is really serving your higher purpose and goals in your life. Not being happy or fulfilled in the future, but finding the things to be happy for in the moment and be grateful for that already now in this moment, because that is really what we've got. Nobody knows the future holds tomorrow, or that which has been yesterday is in the past as a memory, and if we dwell too much in these memories, we become unsatisfied and unhappy. So this practice from dusk to dawn to inspire you, spending more time just reflecting on your own habits and your own way of being, and then make some notes and readjust a little each day, so that you are more present in the moment and therefore also present to the people around you, not being in this hurry all the time so that you forget what is really important for you and the people that mean a lot in your life. I have shared some other teachings that are related to this subject when Buddha moved in. And the meaning behind this when Buddha moved in is how my life changed when I started to watch myself and observe myself through the eyes of the Buddhist teachings, and how I have reduced my suffering with using this view and moving myself into the vibration of more right livelihood. As I have created a teaching also around this subject, that is the 5 lesson in the 8 noble path, how to earning your living with as much ease and enjoy and not harming anyone with what you're doing, is one of the most important ones for me in the Eightfold Path, because it's related to being very much aware of what kind of activities you are moving into, earning your daily living, having something healthy to eat, and not have too much desires around what is disturbing you in your 6 senses of smelling, tasting, feeling, touching, and listening to. So when you reduce the contact that you have with other people through these senses, then you also reduce the noise and the problems that you are facing because of your not so intentional contact you have with other people. So if you want to reduce the drama, reduce the contact that you have with your own senses, that creates this desire, that create this attachment and clinging, and therefore also your unsatisfaction when you do not get what you really want. So reduce this and take this exercise and do it again and again and again. And you will start to see some patterns and be in charge of removing these bad habits and instead put some new habits in your 24-hour cycle. So the last thing I want to share with deep gratitude is what to do when you're bored, what to do when you sleep too much, what to do when you are tired all the time. And the lesson I've got was, if you're tired, if you're unhappy, if you're angry, if you're satisfied, it has something to do with your way of being in your daily life every day. There is something that creates this huge unsatisfaction. And when you remove that, maybe not right away, but related to days, weeks, months, something will change into a better state of peace of mind and calmness. So I had been sleeping too much in my life, and I asked this monk, I'm tired, but I'm sleeping. And he said to me, if you are tired, it's because your mind is unhappy. So it does not want to be awake because it's unhappy and it wants to forget, wants to move away from this unhappiness. So I asked how to change this as soon as possible, and he said, listen to this loving kindness meditation, chanting the original one. So not chanting with music, but a chanting that you like, that when you listen to it, you feel something is cultivated with the words. You can listen to it from the one I have created, or you can listen to something from YouTube. Other people have been chanting, or you can read it out loud yourself. And I will put a link where you can read it just before you go to bed, and then you tell yourself only to sleep for 4 hours, as you create a demand in your mind. And because of this loving kindness meditation, you wake up 4 hours without the alarm is set. And so I did this practice, and the first try I did, I listened to the loving kindness meditation, and I demanded my mind to wake up, my body to wake up. And 4 hours later, I woke up before the dawn. And I woke up before the light came onto the sky. And the feeling that I had inside of me was a feeling I've had in many other situations, but it made a seed grow much more that I'm in charge of these 24 hours. I'm not addicted to a clock or a phone, anything else. As long as I follow this path, I'm in charge of as much as possible around myself, my actions and my results in life. And this teaching, this experience, it gave me so much peace, clarity, strength, and ability to move on, to have the goal not eating more once or twice a day, reducing the contact with everything that tastes good, and instead eat things that are truly healthy for my body, to sustain the body and not to fulfill the attachments and cravings that are around the senses. So this was a very interesting experience and teaching. And now I will end this saying thank you to you that you have used and spent your time listening, and also that you have looked a little deeper into yourself to reflect upon who you are and why you are here, why you are like you are, and how you can readjust, rearrange, and reposition yourself so you become a more calm and peaceful person, an individual. Thank you for your investigation and sharing. And have a very great day today. See you soon.